Okay, so that's it. We're packing up for the evening here at Cathedral City Toastmasters. Everyone's heading out. We had 4 speakers this evening. We had a great lineup. We had our first speaker up was Nick, and he spoke to us about the 3 crown jewels, or the crown jewels in the Caribbean, and he talked about obviously the temples in the peninsula, the Yucatan Peninsula, in areas around there. He also spoke to us about chocolate, right? Who doesn't love chocolate? Chocolate that was made from these small beans called cacao beans. And then, of course, he brought up the agave plant, which we all know to be tequila. And he spoke to us about the area and what was amazing about it. And it sounded like a place where you wanted to go on holiday. So we're going to be probably planning that as a club, maybe. The next one we had up was Luke for the evening. Now Luke, he actually did his first speech, which was the icebreaker speech. Now that is where generally what happens in an icebreaker speech is that people tell us a little bit about themselves and something just to help us introduce to this person that we've kind of just welcomed into the club and we want to get to know a bit more. And what he did was he told us about him growing up on a farm and then going off to university. All his friends become builders, but he wanted to become a valuer or work in the space. He got a business degree, and then now he is one of the big managers for a valuation company across the country here in New Zealand, which is really amazing. He told us about how he went overseas, how he came to settle down with family. He's got 2 girls. It was a really great story, and thanks to Luke for sharing with us his first speech, and we're always keen to hear the second one after the first speech, so we are looking forward to that. Our third speaker for the evening was Dave Riley. Now, Dave shared with us quite a personal story, and it was one that got us all very, very emotional, and that was actually the goal of the speech topic, the speech project that he was doing, and that was to elicit and arouse emotions in his audience. Now, he chose a topic that was actually quite close to home to do that, and I applaud him for that because it was really quite hard to do, I would say, to bring out, which was, he's talking about how he was living in Saudi Arabia and he met the woman of his dreams and proposed, and they were going to come back to New Zealand and get married. Now, with that planned, he told his mum and dad, who would live in England, that he was getting married and invited them over to New Zealand to do so. And on the way, his dad actually died. On the trip, they were stopped in Honolulu in Hawaii, and they didn't make it because his dad died in a hiking accident while he was there. And you can imagine what happened to the room. It was quite deep. So, that blew us all away. I'm struggling thinking about it right now, to be honest. That was a great speech. Thanks so much, Dave, for sharing that with us. That was actually amazing. Our last speaker for the evening was Sergey, and he is doing the 10th speech in the Competent Communicator Manual. Now, that's the last speech you do, the very first manual you have in Toastmasters. The 10th speech is like the combination of all the skills you've learned so far and putting that into a speech. Thanks so much, Sergey. You taught us a lot about yourself, how you come up through adversity in South Africa and you did one thing, it didn't work out, came through some struggles, and then you did something that you described as following your heart, and that was awesome too. Obviously we had some impromptu speakers tonight as well. That was hilarious, always funny. Thanks so much for those guys for putting the neck on the line. That's always fun. Looking forward to catching up with you next week. This is JP from Cathedral City Toastmasters. Talk to you next week.